I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, and welcome Augies, to this presentation of Ask Dave. This is the first in our line of a new approach to Ask Dave questions, and what we're doing is I'm working here with Trevor Ullman, who is a film student at BYU. And Trevor, why don't you tell us a little bit about your film school?
I'm going to film school at BYU. Right now I am going to be a junior, and I'm studying right now just basic production.
Basic production. Well, this is pretty basic. I tell you, you have to get more basic than this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I've asked Trevor to do is to take over the Ask Dave questions. He's going to be helping select the ones that we'll look at on the air. And we picked one for our first video today. Show us what we got here. Who's this from?
This is from Stephen Kelly.
And Stephen is frustrated.
He is.
What's he frustrated about?
He's frustrated because he is just a beginner, and he's trying to figure out what course of action he should take to start learning, and getting, I guess, a little bit of bullying on the air for being a beginner.
Bullying on the air?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, that doesn't sound very good. What happened to you the first time you went into a film studio and made a mistake? Were people very nice?
No.
No, they weren't. Would you call that bullying or helpful?
Probably, it depends. It can cross the line, but I would say it's just sort of correction.
Sort of correction. You're a very nice young man. I appreciate you saying that. Okay, so he is, well, I mean, there's a couple things going on here. Steve is a little mic shy, okay? You've been film student now for 2 years. How do you overcome being mic shy?
Probably just practice. Just keep talking.
Keep talking?
Yeah.
Oh boy, ham radio has a lot to do with talking, doesn't it?
Yep, just work your way through it.
Just work your way through it. So one thing I have found helpful, if this is your first time on the air, is to write things down. Write down on a piece of paper, my name is Dave. I live in Ridgway, Colorado. And then a few bullet points like that. I used to work for IBM. I used to be in the Air Force, all of these kinds of things. And then you've got something right in front of you that as you're talking you can kind of draw from. You know, that one line about being in the Air Force can lead to quite a long, satisfying conversation with some other veteran. So there's always looking for ways to find things that you have in common. All right, it's like having a new roommate, right? First you can't stand them, then you're not so sure. Then you either fire them or get to really like them. He talks a little bit about bullying, and I want to talk about that too. There are two reactions to bullying. First of all, you're not in the room with the guy, okay? So you can't throw a punch, nor can the other guy throw a punch. You can turn off your radio and walk away from it. And sometimes, when you're really unhappy with something, really mad, that might be the best thing to do. But here's the deal. There's something called the Golden Rule, which we all are aware of.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Good. Very good. For a college student, this guy isn't bad here. Okay, so be the ham you want others to be. That's my recommendation. In all cases of bullying, bad on the air behavior, so on, behave toward the other ham the way you would want the other ham to behave toward you if you're frustrated. If you come up with something and you don't know, or you make a mistake, you know, well, first of all, admit you've made a mistake. You know, if you did accidentally erase the entire tape for Studio C, you know, at some point you have to say, guys, my bad. All right, that does have to be said. But some other times it's just not appropriate in a hobby situation for somebody to jump up and say, you evil man, or you evil woman. I say that, you know, almost 98% of my subscribers are male. Ham radio is a very male dominated type of hobby. I think part of that is because it is a geek kind of thing, and geeks do not always have the world's best personality. I've met many excellent YLs. My wife is a YL, that's young lady, or female ham, for the uninitiated. A couple things I would recommend is you be the ham that you would like others to be. If you have a question, state it mildly. I'm sorry, sir, but I actually don't know how to do this. I don't know the difference between J-star, or D-star rather, and DMR. Do you know the difference between D-star and DMR?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. So if I were to yell at you for that, how would that make you feel?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Yeah, that's true. So, see, I really don't know the difference. Can you enlighten me? I did this just a couple nights ago. I was on the air, and there was a contest going on. Actually, there were several contests going on. The one of interest was the 7th Area Call District QSO party, but there was also a couple other QSO parties going on. So I didn't know that. I was looking at my list of contests that's in QST, trying to figure out which contest is this, because I use the N3FJP blogging software. And I went on the website, and I didn't know what to get. So I asked, as pleasantly as I could after I worked, a guy, "Sir, I'm very sorry, but I'm a little confused here. Could you tell me which contest we're working? That way I can get the right software." And the person came right back and said the 7th Area Call Group contest, and went on to do his other thing, and I didn't even have a chance to say thank you. He was already on to somebody else. But he did provide the answer very nicely. So, if you're going to get angry, just walk away from it, okay? But come back. Don't walk away permanently, because the word of the year, as I've told you, especially in the last video, the word of the year is persevere. We just keep trying. I have a good friend in the church who was in a marginally bad motorcycle accident here a week or so ago. And I went up to see him, and I said, "So when are we going to go riding again?" Well, you can see the predictable. He was glancing at his wife and says, "Well, I don't know about that." And I says, "Good grief." You've enjoyed it so far, and you've had a bad experience. You just quit at the sight of the first bad experience. No, you do not. Nor do you do that in ham radio. You persevere. You keep trying. And yes, after I broke my arm on my motorcycle, I did ride again. And I still have a motorcycle in the garage. So, well, I think we've talked about a lot of things. Anything else you'd like to add to this poor fellow who's trying to overcome what he perceives as bullying?
I would say try to listen to what the bulliers are saying, even if they may not be saying it the nicest way, and learn from them. And also just be patient with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Persevere? Would
Yeah.
you persevere?
Mm-hmm.
Do you recommend persevering?
I do.
Good man. All right. Thank you all very much for your time today. In channel news, the next video coming up will be about the Renovus Islands HD1 handheld. I have that video almost completely written. Hope to record later today. And we'll have that one coming up very soon. So, with Trevor's help, we're going to get caught up on the bulk of the Ask Dave questions. We'll do more than one at a time. But this one was particularly important to me, so I wanted to see that we had a chance to take a look at it. Yes, not every experience on ham radio was perfect, but the bulk of them are a great deal of fun. So persevere, hang in there. Until we next meet, 73. The next video will be on the HD1 radio from Islands. Tune in to learn about DMR and what cool features this radio has.